Okay, it's 6:03. Let's go ahead and get started. Oh, my pencil broke. Oh shucks. Okay, let's go through the meeting minutes from February. Okay, thanks, Stanford. Does anyone have any comments to the meeting minutes from February? And if not, we'll go ahead and approve those. Okay, hearing no comments, we'll go ahead and approve. Thanks, Ali, for all that good information as always. So thank you for that. Moving on, principals report, Mr. Gusman.
Good evening, everybody. Start off with COVID. So recently, if you hadn't seen, it is now optional to wear your mask outdoors. That applies to anyone, students, adults, visitors, anyone. Still need to wear the mask indoors. I did attend a meeting with the Department of Health and the DOE. They're still kind of working out some things. So there might be some changes coming up, but nothing is official just yet. So I cannot report anything out. Were there any questions on the masking thing? So it's not a school level decision. We cannot, as individual schools, make up our own policy and say, no, we still got to wear masks outside. It's a department-wide policy and I have no say on it. I have no say on it. Okay. Otherwise, we're winding up. Tomorrow is the last day of the quarter, and then next week is spring break. Hallelujah. I think everybody needs to take a breath, and for the last run for fourth quarter. Just as a heads up, Kuhio Day is the week we get back on the 25th. That's a Friday. So it will be a short week and then another long weekend. But yeah, that's pretty much, I don't want to I tend to always talk about all the stuff that is further down on the agenda. So I actually looked at the rest of the agenda before speaking. So I'll just save all of that for the people who will speak on those parts. So I was going to say stuff about all these things listed here, but I'll just leave it at that. Does anyone have any questions for me? Cool. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Principal. Treasurer's report.
Okay, so we made a deposit of $5,960. Majority is from the after-school classes, and then expense made is $3,330. And last month's balance for the checking account is 62,651.05, and then the actual balance is 52,628, and savings is 161,761.96, and the free business checking is the same, 12,856.08. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Chris, for that. I think, with the 237,000 still in the bank. I know we've gone back and forth and had a lot of really good discussion this year about what to do with that money. I think some givebacks to the school are still warranted this year. I know in discussions with principal, we're trying to figure out where maybe some of the funding would be most helpful. So ideas are still coming, but we really need to kind of figure out what to do with that balance. We shouldn't be carrying $237,000 in a checking account. And I know that there's been questions about investment and all this kind of stuff too. And again, I think, we're not necessarily an endowment kind of program. So just to throw it out there, this year is probably not going to be the year where we make that decision, but for everyone who's going to be around next year, something to think about, and make some decisions on how, what is a better cash balance to run for operating expense every year. I'll just throw that out there. Okay. So moving on to old business, we'll turn it over to Stanford, and thank you very much for spearheading the jogathon this year. I see everyone wearing their shirts.
Yeah, thank you. So the jogathon went off without much problems thanks to the efforts of the Noelani staff, especially Mrs. Lum, Miss Yamane, let's see, I have Miss Crawford, Miss McCurdy, Miss Kuba, and Mr. Sakamoto. And there were some parent volunteers that assisted in setting up the obstacle course and the other equipment in the early morning, but due to COVID, we wanted to minimize the amount of exposure to the kids. So it was basically set up at 7 o'clock and finished by 7:30. And we tried to get out of there and just let Miss Lum and her crew handle it from there. The only the only grade level that didn't get to experience the full thing were the kindergarteners. Unfortunately, it rained that morning and the courts weren't dry enough, but they still had a lot of fun from what I was told. They had, or Miss Lum had a indoor activity that was a backup and she just went with it. And so it was no problem at all. And the rest of the week went really smoothly. So the last thing that remains is to count up the donations. So thank you to all the parents, family, friends, whoever donated. We really appreciate your support. And Mr. Gusman is going to allow us to count some of the funds, or to count the funds on campus. So I'm going to work with Chris, our treasurer, and a few of the officers or members and try to get that squared away by the next week or two. But yeah, the kids, for those of you who don't know, they participated in a stretching routine that was put together with a video. I think Miss I and the officers put together an exercise or stretching video or warm-up video, and they did that. They did jump rope, Chinese jump rope. They had this obstacle course out on the play court, and I think they had hula hoops as well. So, and after that, it was finished off with an otter pop that they got to enjoy in their classrooms. So yeah, jogathon went well. Hopefully next year we'll see what we're allowed to do. But it was, I think Mr. Sakamoto put together something really well in the previous year, and Miss Lum just kind of rolled with it. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gusman.
Hey, thanks, Stanford. I want to talk about nominations for next year again. I think that earlier this year we did agree that the board term should be May through June, right? Every year. So that there is some overlap with the current school year team so that there's better continuity. I think last year, just kind of stepping into it, I thought it was quite rough. So hopefully this will give everybody a little bit more leeway. That being said, we have very few nominations for next school year, and a bunch of us are exiting. So definitely want to encourage everyone who's on this call, especially those who show up every month. I think your interest is there. And I know that there's a lot of hesitation about the amount of time that you need to spend, but you don't need to spend more than you can give. I think the idea is that you give what you can and all of it counts. But the officer positions, there's only 4. And committees, I think even for those, you can still kind of run without some of the committees, maybe except for like craft fair, Mayfair, those bigger events. But really the executive committee needs to be sort of flushed out in the next month or so. Nominations are supposed to be due by April, and then we're going to put that out for vote. So I did receive one inquiry, one request, or one interest, and it's probably because I've been prodding this for every meeting. So Stanford has agreed to run for president, and really appreciate him stepping up into the role. Again, I think, there's been a lot of hesitation about the time, but I can honestly say that it's been a great year. A lot of learning. And again, you give what you can. So definitely appreciate Stanford, you stepping up that way. Anybody else, feel free, up for grabs, secretary, treasurer, vice president. I mean, there's still a lot to be had, and a lot of good things have come out of this year, I think. So a lot of good momentum. So hopefully you will consider. Please feel free to email any of us or write into the school PTA website, email address. Drop it off at the office in the PTA mailbox if you want to be anonymous or whatever. Just send in your names. Give us any questions you have. We'll be happy to answer. So thank you very much. Any questions about nominations or any other interests? I'll just put that out there. I'm looking at a few of you, but I won't call you out today. Okay. Just checking. All right. After school enrichment, Stanford, you want to give an update? Oh, you're on mute, Stanford.
Sorry about that. Okay, these are the courses that the teachers came up with for this year's after school program. Because we wanted to try, or they wanted to try to increase the amount of students that were able to participate. Some of the teachers actually decided to cut their courses down to 5 classes so they could double the amount, because due to COVID, trying to limit the amount of kids in these classrooms, they are mixing within the grade. So it was limited to 10 for the indoor classes. And if you double it, it's 20. So according to Ms. Yamane, there are about 100 kids that are signed up for these various classes, and most of them are full. So I want to thank all the teachers that participated and offered their time to teach some of these classes. And some of them actually, I think, like, I know Miss Nakashima had so many kids that she opened up a 3rd section. So she's going to have, another 10, so 30 kids total. Miss Nakamura, who's teaching soccer, is on the outside. So I think she was able to have a little bit more kids. Thank you to all the teachers that participated, and thank you to the parents who had their kids sign up. Next year, we'll see what we're able to do and what teachers are able to offer. But I think it's really good that we're kind of going back to what Mr. Gussman had started, right before COVID. There was a lot of requests for after school programs, and he came up with this, and it's been successful every year. So thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Stanford. Any questions about the after school program? No. Okay. So I want to talk about a couple of PTA givebacks. And I think the big one for this week is obviously the Hawaii Theater for Youth event. And everyone should have received the flyer today through Mr. Gusman. And Megan, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit because your family had a lot to do with helping us get this off the ground. So definitely want to shout out to Megan and Eric Johnson for all of their help in getting this Hawaii Theater for Youth showcase together, and to Ali Davidson for helping, arrange for all the popcorn that went home to your kids today. It's something different. We've never really done it that way before. But since we can't do the in-person events this year, we thought that was a nice way to thank everyone and wish everyone well from the PTA. So Megan, you want to talk about the program a little bit? I'll turn it over to you.
Sure. I'm sorry that Eric, my husband, who's the artistic director for Honolulu Theater for Youth, I'm sorry he can't be here. They unfortunately had some website issues this morning. I think everything's been resolved, but that ate up a lot of his morning. So he's still at work right now. But so I'm sorry that I'm not going to be as informative or entertaining as him. But basically, I hope that the families will be able to enjoy this, kind of virtual movie family night. Our family unfortunately hasn't been able to attend or participate in what was formerly, I think, the on-campus movie night. So we look forward to hopefully resuming something like that in the future. But in the meantime, we hope that your families will be able to, watch one or all of the different offerings. There should be something, for everybody. I think that the descriptions for each of the shows, it has a recommended age, but honestly, I think that I don't think that there's anything that's, that the content is either, too mature or even maybe too, juvenile or adolescent for anybody there. I think that Honolulu Theater for Youth really tries to make everything just very family friendly and accessible. So hopefully you can take advantage of all of them through the end of the month. And I believe that there's also an offer if you sign up to become a member. I think that there's a 1 month free membership for your family, which would also include attending a live performance. But I think that information is on the website, on the PTA movie night landing page. So I don't want to misspeak, but I know that they just kept on adding other incentives and just bonus things, and so I didn't want to forget to mention that, but I'm pretty sure that Eric said that too. So anyways, I hope that everyone's able to enjoy it and check out the shows. And also they are the theater is doing live performances at the theater, different performances than what we have access to. So if your family is feeling like they want to go and see a live in-person show, they're having shows at the theater as well, and the information's on the website. But thank you to the PTA and to the school for supporting. I know for many years, Noelani Elementary has always supported HTY and usually sends the classes to field trips at HTY, and I know that the theater looks forward to welcoming the students back in person, hopefully sooner than later. So thank you.
Thank you, Megan. And please, again, pass on our, appreciation to Eric as well. And yeah, I know I saw the email. He was a little stressed out about the website maybe not working tomorrow, but I think they got it back up online. And again, it's just kind of a new offering from the PTA to the school. And, I think as a group, we had decided that it's not just about the PTA families. We're not the only ones that should benefit from some program like this. That's really great for all the kids and all the families. So we decided to share it with the rest of the school, and I hope everyone enjoys. So thank you to everyone for your support. We have talked about screenagers in the past. I'm going to turn it over to Lorilei Saito, and we can get a little update and a little bit more information maybe on tentative dates moving forward.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So I brought up Screenagers, the movie, as a possible option for everyone, our membership an opportunity. And so Screenagers is a documentary that shows the challenges of navigating social media, video games, and academics. And we all know that we are digital consumers, and our kids, even our very little ones, are also digital consumers as well. And no matter how young, they're going to get to a point where they're going to need a lot of guidance. And for parents, this documentary offers solutions and tips for families on how to guide our students to be, I guess, good digital consumers navigating this online world. And so the documentary is a little over 1 hour, excuse me. And what we were thinking is we would do a virtual viewing, not synchronously, this would be asynchronously. A link will be provided to the families to register. And when you register, and it's going to be, the PTA is going to sponsor this. When you register for the event, you'll be sent a link and you will have 2 weeks to watch the documentary. And after that, we wanted to host, I guess, discussion groups for those of you that wanted to, after watching the video, join into a discussion group moderated by PTA members. And so that's something that's coming up. It's going to happen next month. I'll send out the information to the board for approval and to Mr. Gussman before we share it out to the wider Noelani community. But that's something that we have in store for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Larile. I don't know about you guys, but I also have a preteen and it's been rough. I don't know if it's payback or what, but man, it's been a little tough recently. So I'm definitely looking forward to the screenagers showing. Thank you so much for bringing that to the PTA's attention. Yeah, really looking forward to it. Any questions for Larile? No? Okay. Okay. So Mayfair is traditionally held around the middle of the month in May. And in the past, each grade level would do a performance in the courtyard. And then we would have, kiddie games or lunch bento, and then kiddie games after, with a little silent auction. It was a great family day at Noelani. And, it's been very unfortunate that the last 2 years we haven't been able to host. So maybe I'll turn it over to Principal Gussman for a little bit. He and I chatted the other day about, maybe some opportunities for a modified version. So Principal, I'm not sure what you were able to discuss with teachers this year or between the last couple of days, but
honestly, I wasn't on campus today. I had principals meeting and then I came back and I had interviews all the way up until we started this meeting. So I haven't had a chance to talk to Mrs. Chang yet. So I just texted her to say, hey, let's talk tomorrow about it. So if you can give me maybe tomorrow, then I can give you a little bit more information. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Maybe I'll just share too that, yeah, Mrs. Chang is the teacher liaison for the event. And, she's definitely really enthusiastic about what the options are this year. We're still kind of looking into it. So because we haven't had the event the last couple of years, I think one conversation that's going around is what the PTA can do to help out the school resume some sort of Mayfair activity, whether it's, internal to just classrooms with your cohort, some video version of Maypole, for the 5th graders, because again, we've lost that the last couple of years altogether. So anyway, I think, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we can start talking about it. We don't have a parent chair this year for Mayfair. So if anyone out there wants to work with Mrs. Chang and the school, please feel free to let us know. Otherwise, I'm more than happy to do it because it's my last year. But I think it's a really important, this is a family event. This is an internal school family event. And it's so important for the camaraderie. And I really hope that there's, some semblance of past performances or something that the kids can do, amongst themselves. So we'll kind of leave it at that and look forward to more information from Mr. Gusman after he touches base with Mrs. Chang and the rest of the teachers. Okay. Any volunteers for Mayfair Chair while we're at it?
Wait, Danny, well,
Yeah.
it's not just Mrs. Chang. There's actually 5 teachers involved.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So they have a lot of assistants. So there's 3 for the Mayfair, and actually there's 2 for the variety show, which I don't
Oh,
know
okay.
what to kind of do.
Okay.
Because just if we're looking at all the whole thing. So we actually we planned it out. It's just a matter of can we pull it off and how we would pull it off.
Okay.
Um,
So 5 teachers and right now no PTA chairs. So if anybody again wants to volunteer some time or some, brain power, like how we can help get this thing together, please email me. Let me know.
Yeah, I mean, I think mostly it would be just to help as a liaison to letting, say, room parents or the general parent body
Right.
know what's going on and to get whatever help. The other thing is we'll see what happens, and I make no promises, but it's just after the 25th, after the executive order, emergency proclamation, whatever is finished, to see where the DOE kind of takes some things. And so that might present opportunities as well, but that's kind of a little bit, down the line. If we do, it's going to have to happen pretty quickly because we'll have like a month to put it all together. Yeah. So, but in the meantime, we can kind of make some preliminary plans and whatnot. But yeah, sorry, I know I dropped the ball on that. I was supposed to talk to Mrs. Chang. Just got
No, don't worry at all. But maybe just keep us in the loop and then wherever we can help. I
Yeah.
think, from our organization side, more than happy to. I think there's a lot going on in the world right now, so we could use a little Mayfair cheer.
that Mayfair, for those of you who don't know, is more like just a school community event. Unlike Craft Fair, which is like an entire whoever wants to come from the outside of Noelani. So that one's a much bigger event. Craft Fair is, Mayfair is basically for us and the kids to have a good time. And Danny and I had talked about trying to do something for the kids so they could have a good time. It's just a matter of trying to work out the logistics of it. Yeah, so I'm all for it, but we gotta just make sure that what we're doing is all kosher and what we're doing right for it.
Yep, understood. So thank you for that. Okay, I will open up to new business. And I think Stanford had the readathon. They wanted to
Right.
talk.
Right. So thanks, Dan. Yeah. I'm gonna work on a proposal and I'm gonna submit it to Mr. Gusman, but basically in the spirit of giving back to the Noelani community or kids, with the budget that we have, I was thinking of putting together a readathon, but unlike other school readathons where they use it as a fundraiser, this would be a purely give back. So I'm gonna work together on a proposal and get it out to Mr. Gusman, but hopefully we can get it done in April or with minimal impact to the teacher's workload, because we don't want to give them too many things. So yeah, more details to come, maybe next month at the next month meeting.
At high level, it would be that the kids would read and would record
Yeah.
the minutes, and then the
Yes.
PTA would
That's right.
give something back to
Right.
the classroom that participate, kind of thing,
Right.
right?
That's in my mind. I'm thinking, if the kids can read for 20 minutes a day, which they should be, they should be reading for 20 minutes a day. Parents just jot it down, that they did, and we set it maybe a goal of 2 weeks that, the kids that do that are able to do that. We somehow get them a reward, and classrooms that get a certain amount of participation, we could somehow reward the classroom, whether it be books or pizza party. Growing up, I remember getting free personal pan pizzas from Pizza Hut for reading. So, I don't know if there's any businesses out there that do something like that. But I know like McDonald's sell coupon books. So, something that just encourages the kids to read. Yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking. So
Well, thank you,
if
Stanford.
anyone has any ideas and wants to, just feel free to email me too, because it's sort of just in the infancy of planning. But I do want to try to figure something out and hopefully make it a yearly event if it's successful.
No, super good, Stanford. I mean, I think, when we talked, it's a nice idea to provide some kind of activity. And then there is a participation for the class at the end, and with some support from the PTA. So I think that's, really important for us moving forward. I keep saying it, but we need to find more ways to give back like that. And it doesn't always have to be a capital item where, we donate some physical thing to the school. But that being said, I think I will turn it back to Principal Gusman, because we did have a conversation about something that maybe we can do for the school. I spoke too soon. Okay.
Yeah, you led right into that.
That was intentional.
Yeah. So just in kind of looking around the campus and maybe some things that, just ideas, and I don't know, what people might think, but the area from where we have that cross from the cafeteria going to A building, B building, more of the path going towards A building, that it's kind of hard to grow plants in that area, and it's just kind of dirt right now. And so I had kind of just threw the idea out to Danny the other day, like, what she thought about. So this is going to basically all you guys now, to put some benches over there. It could be like just concrete benches, just for something for the kids to sit on, because it'd be multi-use for when we have craft fair. There's just some places for people to rest. Obviously, we would have to kind of skateboard proof it with some brackets and whatnot. But since Danny is sort of close to construction, I was just kind of getting a ballpark of like, oh, how much would something like that cost? But just kind of looking at ideas like that, or it could be more like the benches that we have that go down to B building and installing those kind over there, whatever. I was just kind of looking at like how we could offer a little bit more seating, because the pandemic's not going to last forever. But even still, like, there's so many kids coming on campus earlier, and they all don't want to be in the cafeteria. Like, they could sit out there and kind of wait for school to start. So just throwing it out there.
There's a question about what about a new playground?
Okay, so we are getting a new playground from the DOE. How's that? It's just a matter of it coming in. It's on the boat right now. It was supposed to have come in like soon. So it's going to be on B building side. Because for some of you who haven't been here, we used to have 2 playgrounds at B building. And one of them, just because of Manoa, it rusted out. And so Senator Taniguchi helped us to get some funding for a new playground, because otherwise you wait forever on the list. So we had enough money where they're going to give us a new one, plus refurbish the brown one that's in the back. So hopefully that can get done by the end of this school year, and we'll be good to go.
Okay, super good. Thank you very much. Okay, any other discussion today? Otherwise,
Well, Danny,
yeah.
well, for the parents that don't go into the cafeteria in the mornings, I noticed about a week ago there was a beautiful new curtain up on the stage, and I know that was something that the PTA was looking into funding at one point, but Mr. Gusman found funding on his own, and it's beautiful. The other one was tattered. I don't know if I don't know how old it was, but it looked pretty old. But the new one is a nice. It's kind of like a forest green, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what you'd call it, but it's a dark green and it looks really nice. So for those parents who don't get to see it, that's up in the cafeteria.
It's a jade green.
It's super nice. Yeah, it definitely is more Noelani than the old red one that was falling apart.
The other one
Like-
was over 20 years old because
Yeah.
everybody who's been here for a long time said they can't remember another curtain before that one.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with the curtain is it's got to be rated to be fire retardant. Yeah. So once it starts to kind of break apart, then you cannot get the certification anymore. So we had to change it anyway. So even that took forever to come in, shipped over from the mainland because they don't carry that kind of stuff locally. So finally we got it installed, and yeah, it matches way better with the floor, which is green, and the doors, which are green. So it all kind of flows together.
Oh, super good. And maybe one last thing I'll throw out there is I hope everybody has been able to see the Noelani PTA kind of banners that we put up. So we have two, one sort of by the drop off between the columns in front of the office, and the other one is on the fence. And the whole idea is just to provide more communication to the school and maybe things that are going on, words of appreciation, etc. So, especially now that a lot of us have been dropping off at the cafeteria, definitely is more visible. And, when you're not on campus, it's kind of we're trying to find ways to stay in touch. So, I hope everyone's kind of seeing that.
Yeah, thanks to Ms. Nakamura for printing out those signs, and I think Mr. Gusman, one of the staff is putting him up for us. So thank you.
Yeah, it's Mr. Richard, our custodian.
Yeah. We kind of devised it so that, right, there's Velcro on the back of the laminated sign. So there are some portions of it that we can reuse and interchange as two panels. But that was sort of the low tech idea, short of a video screen. So that's what we could do. But it works. It serves its purpose. It's definitely some good info. So yeah, no, thanks to everyone. And with that, at 6:40.
One more,
Yes,
Dan. Sorry.
ahead.
Actually, I had a couple of parents approach me about the spirit card, and nothing is concrete, but they did ask about it, and they inquired. And so like the readathon, I was gonna figure out if we could put together a proposal. It might not even happen this year, depending on how things go. But the hard part is trying to figure out, because we have so much in the bank, we don't want to try to fundraise. But the idea behind the card, it was so good that a lot of people like the discounts. Me too, me included on that. So Mr. Gusman, we'll contact you with just some preliminaries, and if we think that there's something that we could offer, like maybe not even if there's a minimum amount that we can buy as Noelani PTA, maybe we don't have to do a sort of a all the parents, we could try to do things online, not do anything on campus. But I'll get the two parents to communicate with Dana, who graciously offered to provide whatever information she had, and then I'll package that together and get it to you. But understanding that we're sort of running out of time on this year, but I think some people just like the discounts.
Okay.
So thank you.
Okay, sorry, and yes, that remind me. I apologize. One last thing. Teacher Appreciation Week is coming up sooner than later, and we have had some volunteers. I apologize, off the top of my head, I cannot remember who's spearheading that this year. I see Ryan is on the call. Ryan, is that you or Kristen Brummel?
Oh, yeah, I'm
and
on.
Ryan.
Sorry, I'm logged on as Dylan, Dustin, and
No,
Dustin.
I see that. So that's okay. I knew it was you. Is it Kristen Brummel running it this year? I should know this. I feel silly. Anyone on this call running it? Ryan, it's not you though, right? This year.
No, it's not. Kristen and I did it last year. I have the sign, so just
Okay.
want to let you know that it's in my storage. So whenever you're ready, I can get it to whoever needs it.
Yeah, Kristen
Okay,
offered to work on it again this year.
okay.
If
But
needed.
I know like last year was a huge undertaking and it was the week-long event and it was such a big success that I think there's a lot to live up to this year. So kind of again, putting it out there for volunteers, if if there's anyone out there who really wants to participate and show the teachers how much we appreciate them, please email us at the PTA and let us know, or you can put your name in the chat and we'll definitely contact you. But I know as a week-long event, there was a lot of preparation that went into it and a lot of thought. So, as that time is drawing near as well, we definitely want to make sure that we have some folks who are ready to help out. Okay, I just want to throw that out there. Anything else today? Any questions, comments? No? Wow, that was a fast meeting today. Okay, 6:43. We'll call it a day. Thank you very much for your attendance. And exec committee, if you can stay on for just a quick second, I'd appreciate it. Okay, thank you and good night to everyone. Have a great spring break.
Thank you, everyone.
Anna, you need me on.
No, we're good. Thanks, Brian.
Have a good night.
Okay.